Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamatsyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalam Achalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. So, Hari Om, everybody. We have started seeing the vibhutis of the Lord. Like I told you, this chapter is for those who are not very capable of understanding the yoga sthiti, which is unmanifest and difficult to understand. So, the Lord is giving us his various manifestations in this world, in this universe, so that when we look at them, because gross-minded people tend to look at outside things, external things. So when we look at any of those things, we can be reminded of the Lord. So this is what Vibhuti yoga is manifestation. Yoga sthiti is unmanifest. Unmanifest. And unmanifest is always difficult to understand. What is manifested is easy to understand. So we saw the verse 20 where he actually starts with aham, where he says, I am the one that is the substratum of the vasanas. Because of the vasanas, it is the thoughts. He's the substratum of the thought. And then obviously he becomes the substratum of the every action as well. That is where we have to start, because that is the place that we will ultimately find him. This external supports, they are supports. They will help us go inside. That is why these external supports are there, the manifestations. And then in 21, we saw among the Adityas, I told you the stories. So there are the 12 Adityas of Aditi. He's Vaman Bhagwan. We know the story of Vaman Bhagwan. When he says Vishnu here, it is Vaman. That is his avatar. And among the luminaries, sun. When we talk of Vibhuti, it has to be something big. So Surya, sun, as we know, is the brightest and gives out heat and light. So that's why this thing. And Marichi, I told you, Marutas are the 49 children of Diti who wanted to kill Indra, but then Indra also, it was there. So there were 50 children that were born. And the 49 they are actually the 49 upapranas. We have 5 pranas, and they are the assistants of these pranas, the 49. Maruta, I told you, it means don't cry. But Marichi, when Bhagwan says, I'm Marichi among them, Marichi is the strength that is driving the pranas, because pranas by themselves are inert. They cannot do anything. So he says, I am the strength behind that. So when you breathe, when you have a good digestive system and circulation is good, we must think of the Lord, because he's the one that is controlling all that through the pranas. Even in chapter 15, he will say the same thing. I digest all the food with the help of the pranas, he says. So it is him. And among the stars, I am the moon, because without the moon, the seeds get their nutrition from moonlight. So the farmers will generally expose the seed to moonlight, and then from seed, of course, crop, and then we get our energy from the food. So that's why he says, I'm the moon. We were on 22. We did it partially. Vedanam Samaveda. I'm the Samaveda is the Giti Pradhan, and we sing when we are happy. And so he says, I am Samaveda because it is one aspect of him. Satchit Ananda, it is Samaveda represents the Ananda aspect of Bhagwan. And therefore he said Sama. And Devanam Asmi Vasava is Indra. So he is among the deities in the heavens. He is the king. Vasava is Indra Bhagwan. And among the senses, I'm the mind, because the mind is the king of the senses. The mind is supposed to be, sometimes the mind doesn't get control, gets controlled by the sense, but mind is supposed to be controlling the senses. And therefore he says, therefore mind is also considered as the sixth sense. They have the five senses and sixth is mind. And he says, I am the mind. And we were on this last one, Bhutanam Asmi Chetana. When he says Bhutanam, I've always told you this, Bhu Bhavati, those who are born. So it doesn't only include human beings. It includes animals, reptiles, you name it. Anything that is breathing, anything that is born, birds, everything. So Bhutanam includes. So he says, I am the Chetana. See, this Chetana, in 13, he will explain even more. But what is the Chetana? What is Chetana? Chetana is the enlivening force within us. Okay. So what is the enlivening force right now? What do I think? It is me, Jiva. This is what I'm thinking. Chetana. So there is this Chetana within all of us, which is because of which the body is acting. Okay, body is inert by itself, mind is inert by itself. But then there is something else. There is this Jiva who is Chetan, who is living. It's a living and sentient, it is. Not living, but sentient. The Jiva is sentient because of which the body can act, the mind can feel, and the intellect can have thoughts. So that is what he's referring. But when he says that I am the Chetana, in 13, what he means is there is the oneness between this, which, see, I think that there is Chetana within me, there is Chetana within you, within the bird, within that. So I think it is all different. I think that the enlivening force, I am different, you're different, bird is different, animal is different, dog is different, and each one has its own Chetana, right? Because each one is functioning. Dog is barking, bird is chirping, everybody is doing things. And I, in my ignorance, think that, okay, we are all different. So by saying that, no, it is me alone in all of them. That is what he means here. And 13, he will explain. Kshetra, Kshetrajna. He says, Kshetrajna, you think Kshetrajna is the Jiva, you think the knower of the field, because this is the body, which is the field, and who know? I know the body. And you think that this Kshetrajna is different in different people? No, there is only one Kshetrajna, and that's me. That is what same meaning is here. He says that Chetana, that enlivening force in each and every Bhuta. By using Bhuta, all entire living kingdom in this world, whoever is living, whoever is become, whoever is born, he says, I am the only one. And that indicates the oneness between the jivas and Brahman. That is what he's indicating here. Because when we just say Bhuta, okay, so within me there is Chetana, within you there is everybody. And that we should not mistake that there is different. Also, we think that, okay, it's very easy to understand that there is this enlivening force when somebody who is talking or birds are chirping, doing something, But then when the pranas go away and the body is dead, and then you think, okay, the Chetana has gone away. What has happened is, yes, the total Chetana does go because subtle body moves. But we have to remember that in every cell of that body, of the dead body, there is still Chetana. Individual Chetana is because of which the body undergoes change. If you just leave a dead body there, it'll undergo change on its own. You don't have to do anything. Now, if that body is totally, see, stone is there, it'll stay there. Of course, after millions of years, when water goes, it'll listen. But that is because of the water. On its own, the stone is not, that inert object is not going to change on its own. On its own, okay? Whereas a dead body, you leave it, it will change. It'll decay. It'll modify. And that's what tells us that there is consciousness even in the dead body. Because if you say that there is no consciousness in the dead body, then the all-pervading nature of pure consciousness is negated. That means what? The dead body is here, and then on this side there's called this side, but in there is no consciousness. So you can't say that. Okay? All pervading nature remains. So whether the body is dead or alive, Chetana is there. That is what he's saying here. Bhutanam asmi Chetana. I am the Chetana. So basically, if you're living, breathing, acting, you must think of him. That's why I've always told you, we must thank the Lord that, I could speak, I could hear, I could walk, I could talk, I could whatever. It's because of him, because he is the Chetana. Now we come to the 23rd verse. रुद्राणां शङ्करश्चास्मि वित्तेषो यक्षरक्षसां वसूनां पावकश्चास्मि मेरुशिखरिणामहम्. And among the Rudras, I am Shankara. Among the Yakshas and Rakshas, it's not Rakshasas, it is Rakshas. The Lord of Wealth. What is it? How is it spelled in your newer edition? R-A R-A-K.
It is saying Yaksha Rakshasam.
No, but in the English, what is the
Rakshasas.
it's saying? Okay,
in English it's saying Rakshasas.
Okay.
Among the Yakshas and Rakshasas.
Rakshasas, yeah. No, it's okay. Anyway, we'll see that. The Lord of Wealth. So among the Yakshas and Rakshas, the Lord of Wealth, Kubera. Among the Vasus, I'm Pavaka, Agni, and among the mountains, I'm the Meru. So we have interesting stories for all four of this. Rudranam, we saw there are 11 Rudras in the 33 types of gods, 11 Rudras, 12 Adityas, 8 Vasus, and 2 Ashwini Kumars. So Rudra, the word Rudra, Rodayati iti Rudra. Rodayati is that which makes us cry. So Rudra is that which makes us cry. So Rudra, the subjective meaning of Rudra then is the 5 sense organs, the 5 organs of action, and the mind. And that is how there are the 11 Rudras. Okay? 11 Rudras, subjectively, we have to understand it as senses, action, and then there is the mind. So that's 11. Now, Rodayati iti Rudra. So are the senses making us cry, miserable? Yes, they are. Because I look at something and I want it and I don't get it. Now I'm crying. So it's the senses that are perceiving. I hear a sound, I taste something which I want more. So when I have more and more desires for the external world and I don't get them, then I become miserable. Therefore, and then the senses are acting so there is a desire, then there is action, and that action is not giving me the result that I want. So again, I'm miserable. So actually, misery is arising from our senses and our organs of action. Because of the desire, senses can make us happy also. Like, okay, if the desire doesn't arrive, what can make us happy is dispassion. That's the only thing that which will keep us in balance. But it's not. So these are the ones that are making us cry. Therefore, they are known as Rudras. Rodayati iti Rudra. Now, among these Rudras, he says, I'm Shankara. This Shankara word should not be taken as Lord Shiva. It is Sham Karoti iti Shankara. Sham Karoti. That's the break of the word. Sham first and Karoti. Sham Karoti. And what is Sham? Sham is peace, quietness of mind. So whatever reduces the misery, that is what I am. Sankara becomes that which reduces my misery. The Rudras, they are the ones that are making us cry. These are the 11 Rudras subjectively, and they are making us miserable. I will cry only when I'm miserable. So they are making us miserable. And that which protects us from that misery, that is what I am. Now, how is he Shankara? How can he become Shankara? Like, how can he become, this is not Lord Shiva. How can he become the one which reduces our miseries? That is the point there. Why is he saying I'm there? So if you turn your attention, because already he said, I'm the mind. If you turn your attention inside, okay, then what will happen is that external world will not be attracting you so much. Right now, what is happening is because the senses are very extroverted, we are very much in the external world. We do not have that level of dispassion. So everything that we see is judged by like and dislike. What I like, I want. What I dislike, I don't want. Most of the times, what I like, I don't get, and what I dislike, I get. So if that attention is shifted, so one thing is if you reduce your likes and dislikes, which is purity of mind. The karma yogi, he is now trying to purify the mind. So reduce likes and dislikes. So what is happening is things he likes, but it's okay if I get it, okay. If I don't get it, it's okay. Okay. Bhakti, through bhakti, his mind is constantly on God. So even if he sees, okay, if God wills, I'll get it. And okay, I didn't get it because that was not God's will. So that's fine. So through bhakti, he says, okay, that's fine. God didn't give me. I wanted a child, but God didn't give me. So I accept. Or I wanted something, or I didn't want something, and now this has come. But okay, now God, you gave it to me, and now you can take it away too. Sorrow. So that way he does it. And jnana is to know that this is all an illusion. World is an illusion. Now, so whatever I see in the world is an illusion. What's there to be miserable about an illusion? That's when we cry so much in the movie, like I still cry, but it's an illusion. Nothing is happening there. But I feel, but the jnani knows that. So that's why the way Bhagwan says, if you're following this, if you become introverted, if you understand that whatever is happening is because of my own past karmas, then won't feel as miserable. That's why the knowledge, that's why this knowledge that tells us, previously we think, why me? Anything, people say that, my friend, I got diabetes, and the first thing I said, you thought, why me? She said, yeah, that's what I thought. Why me? Okay. So we as spiritual seekers, okay, yeah. Of course, right now I overdosed on sugar, so I got it. But something in my past, in my genes, it's there. Doctor will say genes. But for spiritual seekers, we'll say, I've done it something in the past, and that's what I've gotten. Okay, I accept, and I will work, take medication, etc. So that is why he's saying, in among the Rudras, among those who make us cry, the 10 sense organs and this thing, I'm the one that pacifies. So that's why when we are miserable, think of him. So misery, it's like Arjun. If you take the example of Arjun, what happened to Arjun in chapter 1? Complete Vishad, no? He was so sorrowful. He was crying. He had horripilation. He could not even hold his own bow. And then what did he do? He surrendered to the Lord. And that is what Bhagwan is saying. That is what I am. So when you get miseries, in that misery, you can go Godward or you can go dogward. So if we go Godward, he's there. That is what is the meaning. That's what he says when I am the Sankara. Sham Karoti. I will give up. It is me who will give you that peace which you have lost in your misery. All right? Vittesho Yaksha Raksha Sam. Now, Yaksha and Raksha, these are Brahmaji's creations. Prajapati Brahmaji only created everything. So he first created Aksha. Yaksha, sorry, not Aksha, Yaksha. Yakshas are very bhoga pradhan. Bhoga pradhan is what? They want to indulge, they want to enjoy. So the minute this creation of Yaksha happened, they started to wanted to eat Brahmaji only first. They wanted, so yeah, they wanted to eat Brahmaji only. So, Bhagavad Puran story, yeah, they're all story from the Puranas. So they were. So then Brahmaji thought, oh my God, so immediately he created the Rakshas. Raksha. Raksha is what? Protection. Protection. Protectors, right? Raksha is protection. The one who protects is a protector. So he created the Rakshas. Now Rakshas are Artha Pradhan. What is Artha Pradhan? Artha is wealth. Artha is not meaning here, wealth. So they collect the wealth, but they sit on it like a snake. They don't spend. They're protecting their wealth also. And they feel happy. I've got so much, no enjoy. The yakshas, on the other hand, they will spend all the money. That's the difference between yaksha and raksha. Okay. So these are the two creations that Brahmaji created. And now among this, he says, I'm Vittesha. So Vittesha, Vitta is wealth. Isha is Lord. Lord of the wealth is Kubera, because Kubera is the treasurer of the devas, of the gods. He's the treasurer. Okay. Who is Kubera? Kubera is the half brother of Ravana. Ravana's father had 3 wives. One wife had Kubera, one wife had Ravana, and one wife had Vibhishana. So these 3 are half brothers, Kubera, Ravana, and this thing. Now, Kubera, he is balanced. Yakshas are there who are just indulging, spending. Rakshas are there who are only protecting their wealth. They're not spending at all. But Kubera is in between. He's balanced. So he spends when it is required, and he doesn't spend when it is not required. So he's the balance between these two. So therefore, Bhagavan is saying, I am Vittesha. Vittesha means Kubera. Vitta wealth, Isha of wealth, Lord of wealth, and that is Kubera. Kuber. So he says, so when we strike a balance between our spending and earning, we are with him. That's the idea. Because we earn also, there are many people who are, spending more than what they earn, right? And then so that balance, when it is struck, then we are like Kubera. And Bhagavan says, I am that Kubera. So then we are with them. So Yaksha and Raksha. Okay. Vasunam Pavakas Chasmi. Vasu. We saw there are the 8 Vasus. So the 8 Vasanti Asmin iti Vasu. Vasanti Asmin. Vasanti means that which supports. Vasus are those which support. And there are 8 Vasus, and their names are, the first one is Dhara, Dhruva, Soma, Anala, Anila, Aha, Prabhata, and Pratyusha. These are the 8. So there is Dhara, Dhruva, Soma. There is, after Soma, there is Anala, Anila, Aha, Prabhata, Pratyusha. So these are the 8. So Dhara is Vasundhara, earth. Dhara means earth. Now Vasundhara is supporting all of us, right? Earth is supporting all of us. So that is Dhara. Then there is Dhara, Dhruva. Dhruva is that which is very, very stable. We know that Dhruva, who did penance, Bhagwan gave him that Dhruva, the northern star, which is considered as extremely stable among all this thing. So that was like a permanent place for him. So that is Dhruva. And that is a permanent support. Dhruva. Soma is a name for moon. So Soma here means Aladadayini. As per Bhagwan. Alad is, we feel good in moonlight. Pleasure. Right? Moonlight, like in sunlight, will be hot and it's burning hot. But if there is a full moon, and in that light, we feel it's very pleasing, pleasurable, right? Moonlight. So that is what Soma is. Next is Anala. Anala is fire, Agni. So the word alam means enough. Alam, enough. Anala means not enough, not enough. And the reason that this Anala word is used for Agni is because no matter how much fuel you add to Agni, fire never says enough now. It'll go on accepting the things. Right? It'll go on accepting. So fire is never satisfied. You can go on adding, little pieces of wood or ghee or oil or whatever, and it'll keep on burning. So that is Agni, Anala. Then Anila is air. And without air, so we cannot live. So that is our first support, right? Anila. Aha is daylight. Aha and Ratrao. Aha, Ratrao is night, but Aha here is day. And during the day, it supports our activities. No? Most of us, I mean, of course, there are some who are work at night, but majority of the people would have energy during the daytime because, sunlight is there and then we would work. So Aha, that is the day. Prabhata is morning time. Morning. And morning time generally it's considered as, see, Prabhata and Pratyusha. Pratyusha is Brahma Murta, okay? That Brahma Murta, which starts it's between 3 and 5. So around 4 o'clock, it is very sattvic. That's why it is recommended, like Gurudev would always wake up he would be absolutely ready by 4. I think he would wake up at 3 and then by 4 he was ready to do his meditation. So what is said is that time is the best for meditation. It's that atmosphere is conducive. It's very sattvic, and we have slept, we have had a good night's sleep, then we wake up, and so that is pratyusha. And prabhata is morning. Morning is rajas. So we do the meditation in the sun, then we in the morning we want to work, etc., etc. Okay, so these are the 8 vasus. Now, among the 8 vasus, Bhagwan is saying, Pavaka means Agni. Pavaka is fire, Agni, and Agni is there, Anala. Now, the question is, why is he saying, I'm Agni? Why is he Agni in this? So, the one thing about Agni, there are many, many types of Agni, by the way. Okay, so one is the fire that I cook on my range, that I cook food in. That's one fire. Another fire is where my body is going to be burnt, cremated. That is also fire only, right? Here now we have the electric thing or whatever, but in India, that fire is there. Then there is fire which is in the Havans. Now, next year when we do the Hanuman Havan, there also there'll be a fire. That is a third type of fire. That is also one type of fire. Then there is Jatharagni. Jatharagni, the digestive fire. Because in chapter 15, Bhagwan says, I am that digestive fire in your stomach who is digesting the food. So that is one thing we have to keep in mind, that don't overeat, don't eat wrong things, because Bhagwan is, sitting inside. That is that. So that is Jataragni. That's another type of Agni. Then there is Krodhagni. Krodha, in anger. If you remember Narsimha Bhagwan, right? Heavy breathing and anger, and everybody was even scared to go in front. So that is also an Agni. Krodha, Krodha, anger. Then there is Kamagni. Kamagni, Kama, lust, passion. And we see that in Tulsidashi, when in the middle of the night, in the heavy rain, in that river which was, flooded, and then he crossed the river, and then he climbed up to his wife's, room, and that is Kamagni, the fire of passion. So there are these different kinds of fire. Now, there is one fire also, which is Vakagni. Vaka, speech. Because that's why fire is the presiding deity of speech, Tattva Bodh. If you see, there are all the deities for all the sense organs. Fire is the one for speech. Now, how many kinds of speech are there? 4, right? Vaikhari Vani first. Vaikhari is now that I'm speaking and you can hear, I can hear. That is Vaikhari. Next is Madhyama. Madhyama is my thought. That is also Vani, because my mind is chattering. I know what my mind is chattering, but you don't know what my mind is chattering. Okay? So, Madhyama. Pashyanti. So, the thought which comes in the mind is coming from where? From Vasana level. My throat is bothering me so. Anyway, so that is coming from so that is Pashyanti Vani. That is also Vani only. Because Vasana, though this Pashyanti is very subtle, I don't know what my vasanas are. You too don't know at all. Me also, I myself don't know what my vasanas are. And finally is Paravan. Para is the supreme consciousness, pure consciousness. So these are the 4. There is Para, which is the subtlest. Then there is Pashyanti, because it is little less subtle, because it does manifest as thought in the mind and it becomes very visible to me. So from subtle, mind is also subtle, but to me it is gross. My mind is gross to mine. Your mind is gross to you because you know it. It's manifest to you. Okay? Supreme consciousness, vasana, and already in the previous verse he said, I'm the substratum of the vasanas. Remember I told you that foil example. So that thing. So he is so pure consciousness, then vasana, then thought, and then action, then speech. Whatever is in my mind, I'm speaking. So that is Vaikhari. Now, Agni, this speech, because Agni is the presiding deity of speech, Agni can be used to say, I am the body. World is meant for me to enjoy. I am going to enjoy. As well, Agni can be used to say, I'm not the BMI. Aham Brahmasmi. So Agni becomes the bridge between manifest and unmanifest. Because Agni is controlling the tongue. Agni is the presiding deity, right? So when I think and consider the world to be real, when I consider the body to be real, when I consider myself to be the body, when I consider myself body, then all body has all kinds of needs and desires and this and that and all kinds of things. Okay, that I can become extroverted, but we can use that same Agni to go inside. That's why he says, I'm the bridge between manifest and unmanifest. So you look at the manifest and you cross over the bridge to me. That's why here he says that I am the Pavakaha. He says, Vasunam Pavakaschasmi, Pavaka Agni. One of the Vasus is Anala, that is Agni. Okay, we have, we say he has a fiery speech, na? That's why it's, yeah. So speech, Vakagni can go both ways. It can take you to the para. It can take you to Paravani. If you keep repeating Aham Brahmasmi, you're going to reach Paravani one day. Backwards, introvert, inside. So that is the Yoga Sthiti. Paramani is the Yoga Sthiti and Vaikhari Mani is the Vibhuti Sthiti. Okay. This is how it's to end. So from my speech must reflect the truth as told by the scriptures. Because there are people, this is what they're telling me in my Saturday class. Oh, I go and then they don't understand. Yeah, but don't try to argue with them. I said, that's why as you go advance in spiritual studies, you get isolated. Because what happens is you're going in the company who is only talking about, this world is meant for indulging, for enjoying, for this. And you can't quite relate to that anymore because we are following the scriptures. Anyway, so Agni becomes a bridge, and that's why Bhagavan said, I am Agni. Okay? Meruhu Shikharinam Aham. Aham, I am among the Shikhar is mountains. Among the mountains, I'm Meru mountain. So the story of Meru mountain is such that Meru mountain is a mythical, it is actually called a Meru Danda. So it is kind of a support which is not straight like this. It runs like this at a tangent, and it goes 16,000 yojanas. Yojana word has come in Hanuman Chalisa. One yojana is 8 miles in our modern this. 16,000 yojanas above sea level and 16,000 yojanas beneath the sea. This is where this Meru is, like this, not like this. It's like, it's not horizontal either, not vertical. It's like at a tangent like this. And it is supporting the entire earth and the mountains and the oceans. It is supporting, it is the support. This Meru Danda, or Meru mountain also it is called, has 3 peaks. One peak is Brahmaji, Brahmapuri. Puri, not Alu Puri. Puri is city. Not I only put that thought in your mind because I only thought of aloo puri. But anyway, Brahmapuri where Brahmaji stays, Vishnupuri where Vishnu stays, and Shivapuri where Shivji stays. Okay, so this Meru has got three uh, shikharas, three mountain peaks. Among this, so what he's saying is among all the mountains, now mountains, Himalayas is there, this is there, that is there. Later on, he'll say among the mountains of Himalayas, I am Meru. Because why? Because that Meru is supporting the entire universe. So I am the support of the entire universe. That is what he's meaning here. Now, we subjectively, if we look at it, this Meru represents the spinal cord in our body. If you think of the spinal cord, it is in the center. It is not, it is straight, but the limbs are attached to it, the legs are attached to it, the head is attached to it. So actually the spinal cord is what is supporting the entire body, not the head. Spinal cord is. So internally, subjectively, when he says that I am Meru, he's saying I am your spinal cord. I am the one that is supporting your entire body. And then there are the three peaks. What are the three peaks then? Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Sattva is creativity. So Brahmaji representing Sattva. Sustenance, Rajas. Vishnu representing Rajas. And Shiva representing matter, Tamas, destruction. So this is the subjective meaning of this Meru mountain. Because, people see Westerners say, what, there's nothing like Meru. Under the sea, people have gone and no, there's nothing like it is mythical. But this is what the subjective meaning of it is. It should not be taken as a physical, Meru Danda, that stick is there not like that. But if you look at yourself, what is actually supporting, you're a doctor here, right? What is actually supporting is the spinal cord, isn't it? Am I right? Yeah. Because everything is attached to the spine, and therefore spinal injuries are so very important and should be taken care of because that's supporting the entire body. Okay, so that is what he means here. That I am. So among the Rudras, I am the one that pacifies. So if you think of the Lord, if you think of every misery that comes to you as an opportunity for you to evolve, what do you think is, why me? Why did this happen to me? And that, no, think of it an opportunity. God is giving you an opportunity to become strong, right? Because physical strength is, when you can lift more and more weight or whatever. But mental strength is required for facing these situations. And when a situation comes and when we surrender to the Lord, He gives us the strength. That is what Arjun did. What did he do? He just surrendered totally. He said, I can't even understand why I cannot fight and why I'm crying and why something is wrong in me. So if we can also say that, and now we don't have to say something is wrong in me. Now we know what happened to us, so we can directly surrender only. No, no, saying Bhagwan. And then it's like tapas. See in tapas, I told you, what is tapas? Tapas increases willpower. Right? You do it once and you think, oh my God, can I do it? Can I do it? I've given you the example, when I started Mahashivratri or Ekadashi, I thought, can I do it? Can I do it? And then I did it once. No, I can do it. So it gives willpower. So therefore, misery also, when they come, they give us strength. They will give us, if we surrender to the Lord, they'll give us strength to bear it. Whatever is we are facing, we can face it with dignity and grace. Okay? So that's that. And Kubera, who is balanced in his spending and indulgence, Yaksha and Raksha, that is the story. They are also creations of Prajapati only, Brahmaji. Among the Vasu, Agni becomes a bridge between manifest and unmanifest. From Vaikhari to Para, if you want to go inside, then it's Agni Devata, or Agni can take you outside also. So we have to think, what should I do? Do I want to go inside or do I want to keep going outside and then keep indulging in the world and then coming back and back into the same world? Up to us. And Meru is the one that is supporting our own body. Individual body is being supported by the spinal cord. Okay? And Sattva, Rajas, Tamas are at the next. पुरोधसां च मुख्यं मां विद्धि पार्थ बृहस्पतिं सेनानीनामहं स्कन्दः सरसामस्मि सागरः. And among the household priests, O Partha, know me the chief Brahaspati among generals. I am Skanda. Among generals, I am Skanda. Among lakes, I am the ocean. So Purodhasa, Purohit, we have the word Purohit, right? Purohit is a priest. Pura is old, ancient, and Hita is good. So Purohita is the one who will always wish good for the family. In Rama, previously the kings always had a Brahmin there. So in Ram Raja, there was Vashishta Rishi, right? So this everybody had one king was there who is the Kshatriya, and the priest was there who is the Brahmin. Now the job of the king was to support the Brahmin. That's why the Kshatriyas supported the ashrams and the gurukulas and everything. Where the Brahmin will go and work, he cannot go and work. He can only teach. So the king will support the Brahmin, and the priest was appointed in the king's in the kingdom. He will advise the king on what is right, what is not right, and that's how the Kshatriyas followed them, followed the priests, and the priest knew all the traditions of that family. So even when Rama was born, the priest is the one Vashishta Rishi named the children. All four, even Krishna also. Vasudev had a priest. He came, I forget his name, but he came and he said, no, this is Krishna and this is, he named, not the parents. That time there was, now it is only parents, but that time it was like that. So he is the one who knows all the traditions. So what he's saying now here is, among the priests, Partha, son of Pritha, or Partha, but who is this thing? We have seen that meaning many times. I am Brahaspati. Now, who is Brahaspati? Brahaspati was the priest of the Devas, Indra. And then, as we know, these Devas and Asuras, they are born of the same father but different mothers. This is Aditi and Aditi, same Rakshas and Suras and Asuras, okay, same thing. Now, the Asuras, they are considered as the elder brother. They're the older brother and Devas are the younger brother. Why? Because negative tendencies, they come very easily to us. Kama, Krodha, all these. Subjectively, these asuras are all these negative tendencies in our minds, and they come very easily. Anger comes very easily. Whereas, love, kindness, oneness, that we have to think. But all these other things come, greed comes very easily to us. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha. Therefore, they are considered as the older brothers. Now, Brahaspati is the Purohit of the Indra, of the Devas. So Indra, so the Devas always listen to this Brahaspati. And then there was always war between the Suras and Asuras. So Devas and Asuras fighting. Now Indra listened to Brahaspati. Indra won the war. Now what happened was, in one cycle of creation, Indra got very arrogant. He said, oh, I won the war. That's what we do too, no? Bhagwan, we forget. If we win or if we get whatever that we want, then immediately, oh, I did it. So Indra became very arrogant. In that arrogance, once when there was, his darbar was going on, when the Guru arrived, Brahaspati arrived, he ignored him totally. She didn't offer him a seat. It's like he never came. Now the Guru got insulted. He just disappeared. So when he disappeared, after that, these devas started losing all the wars because there was nobody to guide them. So then what happened? Indra then had tube light, that, oh, I need somebody. So he got this other guy, other Purohit, called Vishwarupa. Vishwarupa was that other Purohit. This Vishwarupa was very unique. So what he used to do was, he will offer oblations to devas. Means he's their priest, no? So he was nice to them. He was also offering oblations to the Rakshasas, to the Asura. you know what I thought? They're double spy. Now, what are they called? Doubles. They're working for both countries. There are spies like that, right? To
Double agent.
double agent. You got it. That's it. That's it. So Vishwarupa was a triple agent. So he was Deva's agent also. Then on this side, he was the Asura's agent also. And then himself also, he pocketed some of the wealth in between. All three things he was doing. Now what happened was, then he was advising the Devas. So again, when the another next war happened, they won. They won. Indra won, but Indra also found out that this guy is doing this thing. Vishwarupa is doing, he's offering oblations to me also, he's offering oblations. So, and then in between, he is also taking a bribe. So he's doing all three. So Indra gets very mad and Indra kills him. Now what happened was, so when Indra killed him, Indra started feeling guilty. He's a Devana, he's Sattvic. So he started feeling guilty. Now, where does guilt come from? We have seen it, right? Guilt comes from doership. When I think that I have done something, actually, in actuality, I am never the doer. Actual thing is that in the presence of this pure consciousness, things are happening. But I forget that. And I said, so that's what happened to Indra. So he started feeling very guilty that I killed a Brahmin. Brahma Hatya has happened with my hands. Okay. So he's feeling very guilty, indicating he's got doership. Now that Vishwarupa also had a father, he had a father. So he got very angry. So he did a yajna. And in that yajna, he asked for a person or a son who will kill Indra. So that Vritrasura is his name. Vritrasura. So this Vritrasura was born out of that Agni, which Vishwarupa's father did. And his job was to kill Indra. Now Indra found out that, oh my God, this guy is going to. Indra is the most fearful person. Huh? By the way, remember that. So when you think of the heavens, don't think that it is. The king of the heavens is the most scared person on this entire, even on earth, the realized masters are absolutely fearless. That's why Bhagavan Shankaracharya said, don't go after the heavens. Here you become fearless, knowing that you're immortal. So there's nothing to fear. But now Indra is afraid. This guy is going to kill me. So he starts praying. He calls Brahaspati back. He apologizes. He understands that all this is happening because I did that to Brahaspati. He understands. So he calls Brahaspati back, asks for forgiveness. But he says, now this guy is there to kill me. What should I? So Brahaspati advises that if you can get a weapon made from the bones of a realized master, because those bones are pure consciousness, because the knower of Brahman becomes Brahman. So if there is a person who has realized himself to be Brahman, then his bones, you make a weapon out of the bones. Only that thing can kill this Vritrasura. So Indra goes in search and he finds Dadichi. He finds Rishi Dadichi. And he's very honest. He said, this is what it is and I want your bones. Now Dadichi is a realized master. He says, no problem. No problem. Because I am not going to die. But this body, with his, Yoga Agni, that is another Agni, Yoga Agni, which Satiji had done. So Yoga Agni, he destroys the body. He says, you could take the bones, you do whatever. And that Indra's thunderbolt is made out of the bones of Dadichi. That's why that thunderbolt is very, very powerful. And that thunderbolt is what then he goes and he kills Vritrasura. Okay, that is the story of this Purohit, Brahaspati. That's why he says, I am Brahaspati. He said, that is the story of Brahaspati. So then Brahaspati is reinstated because he was the one. And he then advises Indra that this guilt and vanity is both coming from doership. See, earlier on, he got very arrogant, proud. I won the war. I won the war. He says, you could not have won the war without the blessing of the gods, of the pure consciousness, Brahman, right? That is what we have to remember. That is the teaching of Brahaspati. And so this whole thing happened. And that's why Bhagwan here says, I am Brahaspati. That's the story of Brahaspati. I told you there are many, many stories in here, right? Then among Skanda, this story is very interesting. Who is Skanda? You know, Kartikeya Bhagwan is Skanda. Kartikeya is the younger brother of Ganeshji. Kartikeya is more worshipped in the south, not as much in North India or Maharashtra, but he's worshipped in the south. Now, what had happened was, so among the Devas and the Asuras did a lot of tapas. Okay, so now with the you know how Hiranyakashipu also got a boon that, nobody can kill me. Every time they always wanted that boon only, nobody should kill me. So these Asuras came up with a unique boon. They said, only Shivji's son can kill us. Nobody else can kill us. Now what had happened here in Shivji's life, Sati ji, who was his first wife, do you know the story of Sati? So Sati and Shivji they were married. Sati is Parvati ji's previous birth, huh? So she's before Parvati. So they were married, and Sati ji's father he hated his son-in-law. He didn't like his son-in-law. Shivji he didn't like. So he had a yajna, whole party, and except for Shivji, everybody else in the universe was invited. But Shivji was not invited because he just, he didn't think that the son-in-law is, I think every parents think the son-in-law is not worthy of my daughter. So he didn't think he was worthy. He didn't invite. But Satiji insisted. She says, oh, it's my father's yajna. I want to go. Shivji told her, he has not invited us. Don't go. She says, no, but it's my father. Why do I need invitation? I don't need invitation. I can go. So she goes. So he says, okay, then you go. Then what can I do? She goes, and then she figures out that everybody else is insulting my husband. That Yajna was just, the Daksh Prajapati, his name was. So he was the creator, Daksh. So she gets very angry and she does her yoga. With yoga, she destroys her body. Right there in the middle of the Yajna, she destroys. But that makes Shivji very, very mad because my wife, he insulted my wife. So he just pulls a hair, one strand of hair from his head, and that becomes a weapon, and that goes and destroys the whole yajna and everything. Okay, so that's the story. Now what has happened is, now Shivji is a widower, so he just sits in meditation. And nobody can disturb him, because if anybody disturbs him, he will open his third eye and he'll destroy them. So the Asuras think that Shivji is never going to get married now. Now, if he doesn't get married, how will he have a son? So the boon they ask for is only his son can kill us. Nobody else can kill us. So the boon is granted. Now what is happening is Asuras are always winning now because nobody can kill them. The Devas cannot kill them. So the Devas have a meeting. What should we do? They say, we have no choice. We have to have Shivji married. He has to marry. How will he have a child? He won't. So they go and they actually disturb him. They disturb him in his meditation and they ask for forgiveness. And they say, please, please, oh Lord, unless you have a son, these asuras cannot be destroyed. And as long as they are not destroyed, we are getting destroyed left, right, and center. We don't have the boon, they have the boon. During this time, Satiji is already born as Parvatiji. She's the daughter of Himavan, and I believe her mother's name was Menaka, something like that. Her mother's name. So, and because she's Sati, the Jiva is the same, no? So she always loved Shivji very much. So she is doing ghor tapas in the Himalayas to get married to Shivji. And so this waking up and her tapas, both of them combine, and then Shivji comes and her mother is, there's a humorous story. The mother, when she looks at Shivji, with skeletons in his neck and snake and then all the bhutas and all his, the Bharat was all Rakshasa, all bhutaganas and ugly looking people. She says, I'd rather just throw my daughter off the Himalaya mountain and kill her. I cannot get my daughter married to this guy. Then Naraji intervened. Naraji is, he's the mediator. He says, no, don't worry. There's that. Anyway, the marriage happens, and then Ganeshji is born, and then Kartikeya is born. And this Kartikeya then goes and destroys the Asuras. So he says, among the generals, I am Skanda. That is why he says, I am the one that is destroying the negative forces within us. See, these stories are there. People think, what stupid story, but it's not like that. Internally, the negative forces for us to destroy, we need the help of the Lord. We need that. And they are more. They are the older brother. Asuras are the older brother. Negative, think about it, First thing will come when we look, first thing comes is the difference. Oh, this clothes are not, oh, is that what she should be wearing at the class? Like that only, the differences only come to our mind. The oneness doesn't come. So that's why he says, I'm Skanda, who is Kartikeya, who is the destroyer of the asuras, and asuras are a representation of the negative tendencies within us. And therefore, he says, it is moi. That's what he says. So we have among the lakes, this is simple. Lakes is to be considered as a body of water. Any body of water, Bhagavan says ocean, because ocean is great. Like when you have to say a vibhuti, suppose if you have to say what is the vibhuti of all the luminaries, you can't say just a little candle or a matchstick. That vibhuti has to create respect in our mind, right? That's why when you go to Chinmaya Vibhuti, you'll see how grand it has been made. It's not like little something of Gurudev, right? So therefore, ocean is deep. Ocean, and in chapter 2, Bhagavan has compared the realized master to an ocean. So ocean, no matter how many rivers, suppose if the heavy rainfall is there and lots of rivers come, it never crosses its boundary. That's the thing about ocean. Remember, have you ever heard, oh, Pacific Ocean is flooding? There's no flooding in the ocean ever. Rivers flood, but not ocean. And it's very, very deep. And inside, in the depth of it, there's all kinds of treasures. So the idea is that if we go within ourselves, we'll find the treasure of the pure consciousness. That's why that ocean is the same. That's why in chapter 2, Bhagavan compares the realized master, because the realized master is so deep that no matter how many joys come to him, he doesn't get it. One joy, we are going ha 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 hoo hoo. One sorrow comes, you're them depressed. The realized master doesn't do that. Same with ocean. Suppose if there is drought, there's no rain, there's not a single river came to ocean. Ocean doesn't get depressed. They're like, oh my God, there's nobody coming to me. It doesn't get depressed. It's same. And if many, many rivers come, ocean doesn't overflow, ocean doesn't flood. And that is how we have to be. When joys come, we don't go flooding, like screaming. But when sorrows come, because they will both come. I've told you, human birth is 50% merit, 50% demerit. Both have to come. Nobody can say that there's no happiness in my life, and nobody can say that there's no misery in my life. Something or the other is there which will make us unhappy. So when both these things happen, sukha dukhe samay krutva. That is what the ocean is doing. So therefore, he says, when you look at the ocean, be like the ocean. Then you are like me, because I am the ocean. Nirdosham hi samam brahma, he'll say. He said in chapter 9. Samam, I'm sama, equanimous. And that's why that is the key. Samata is the substratum of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so we'll stop here today. Continue next time. Any questions? All good? Okay. So next week is the 23rd, and yeah, we're going to have class. Now I think we'll have class till we close. So if I'm not mistaken, 14th December. No, 14th we are closed, no? Balbihar is closed on the 14th or not?
I thought that was the last class for
Last
Balvihar.
class, 14th. So ours also will be the last class then, 14th. Because before that, I don't think I'll be finishing the chapter. Unless by some fluke, I finish the chapter, then, but if not. So 14th will be the last day, okay? All right, so we'll close for today. ॐ स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथ्वी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्ति भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।